For me, embarrassing moments are like edges. And I embarrass myself frequently. And they've come to be like these really thin blades through which I move and come into greater clarity, greater centeredness, a sort of, they're cleansing in a way. They're humbling, as we all know. So I thought I would tell a story. Can you hear me? Am I too close? I thought I would share with you my first, most embarrassing moments. I might title the piece Through the Edge. I might also title the piece I Can Be a Little Snotty Sometimes. So when I was 15, I had my very first job. Under the table, I was working for tips at a fast food Greek restaurant in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was the mid-'80s. It was my first day on the job, and it was my last day on the job. You'll understand, I think pretty soon here. I can be a little snotty sometimes. So it was midday, and I had actually served some people some food. Gyros, fries, yogurt, cucumber sauce. It was all going pretty well. And two new customers walk in, and they scare me. They're about 19, 20, remember I'm 15. And they're just super cool. They're just super beautiful. We'll call them Ken and Barbie. And they're holding hands, and I'm terribly uncomfortable with this sort of thing. They sit in my section. I'm horrified, but I do have to approach the table. And again, they're not only beautiful, but they're holding hands, they're looking at each other, in that way. And I'm not only 15, but I'm a very young 15. I still can't believe that French kissing happens. This can't really be possible. It's actually later this year, when I'm 15, that someone will try to explain oral sex to me, and I will respond, no. No, I have read a book about animals and sexual intercourse, and I do not think primates do this in the wild. I will also have a sort of private, wordless response, a sort of dread with which I very much worry about the state of humanity. So this is who I am, at 15. I come to the edge, right, of this table, and I stand there. I lift my little menu thing and my pen, and the guy, Ken, looks up at me and he says, somewhat flirtatiously, "Are you going to take our order?" And the young woman just sort of looks around, looks at me, and I thought, wow, this guy was just nice to me. Holy moly. And he's totally won my heart. And I say, yes, I'm going to take your order. And so I do. I take their orders, probably gyros, fries, yogurt, cucumber sauce. And I walk away just thinking that these are really good people. And this guy in particular, he's okay. I check on the status of their food like every 30 seconds. And it's finally ready, and I take it to their table. I should say that as a child and a teenager, I was usually very congested. I had terrible allergies. I don't think my mother nursed me very long. And I was also one of those 15-year-olds that not only did I not wear mascara, I could hardly wield a blow dryer. It was just all I could do to keep my hands clean. And these two, they look like the sort that know how to use dental floss, like condoms. I mean, they are everything I am not. I am marginal, they are center. But he was nice to me, right? So I approached the table with their food. My hands are full. I lean forward over the table to give them their food, and he cracks a joke. And it's not very funny. But out of loyalty, I think I should laugh. Okay, so I do. And I laugh through my nose. Okay, my congested nose. So I I'm leaning over the table, food in both hands, and snot just comes shooting out of each nostril, like these long, thick, opaque strands of snot. And I'm leaning over the table, and they just swing, you know. And everyone freezes. The world, you know, comes to a halt. And I don't know what to do. Should I give them their food? Should I put the food down? Should I take it away? Honestly, I don't remember what I did. Okay. I do know that I went home. I quit. And I do know that it took me some time, but I passed through the edge. You know, I let that blade slice me in half, and on the other side of the edge, I had to decide: am I going to die, or am I going to continue to exist? And as you can see, I continued to exist, but it was having consciously, intentionally decided to continue to exist as a sort of fool. That it was only through embracing the status as fool that I was going to make it. And every time I have yet another embarrassing moment, I think of that first one and the blade, and actually how lovely it is to live life as a fool. It's fun. It's funny. Thank you.